It's a scorching summer day in Charlotte, North Carolina, 1949. Billy Graham stands outside a packed tent, sweat dripping down his brow, nerves buzzing like electricity. Thousands gather, hungry for truth, hope, and maybe a glimpse of something holy. But inside, Billy's wrestling with a secret, the weight of doubt and fear beneath his booming voice. How did this small-town preacher become the world's most trusted pastor? The answer's buried in his journey, starting from a dirt road in North Carolina. Billy's path wasn't paved with ease. Before stadiums and world leaders, he was just a kid wrestling with faith and failure in rural America. Billy Graham grew up on a modest dairy farm outside Charlotte, where his family's hard work was a daily sermon. His father preached the importance of integrity and faith, but young Billy wasn't instantly sold. He labored in the fields while chewing tobacco, dreaming bigger than the dirt under his nails. This backdrop grounded him and gave authenticity to his later sermons that reached millions. At a revival tent meeting in 1934, 15-year-old Billy experienced a life-changing conversion. The air buzzed with expectation as he stepped forward, feeling the weight of his youth and destiny collide. It was less about fireworks and more about a quiet surrender. This moment sparked his lifelong call to ministry, lighting a flame that never dwindled, even amid doubt. Despite early setbacks, rejections, skepticism from his own family, and the towering doubt from critics, Billy's relentless drive was his secret weapon. Like a marathon runner pushing through cramping pain, he kept preaching, adapting, and expanding his reach, eventually crossing oceans and decades. Persistence wasn't just grit, it was faith in motion, a blueprint for millions who struggled to stay the course. From tents to televised crusades, Billy's voice became America's spiritual megaphone. But his rise wasn't just luck, it was a mix of timing, courage, and unshakable conviction. In the 1950s, Billy Graham pioneered the use of television to spread his message, broadcasting massive crusades into millions of living rooms. He mastered the camera's intimacy, making each viewer feel personally spoken to. His 1957 New York crusade was a landmark, drawing hundreds of thousands just by word of mouth, and millions who'd never step under a revival tent tuned in, forever changing religious outreach. Billy didn't just preach to churchgoers. He rubbed shoulders with presidents from Truman to Clinton, offering counsel during turbulent times. He navigated the Cold War-era's fears and the civil rights movement's challenges with a delicate mix of moral clarity and diplomacy, sometimes criticized, other times celebrated, yet always steadfast to his calling. His role was less political power broker, more trusted spiritual advisor during uncertain days. Critics called him too close to power, too conservative, or sometimes naive. Yet Graham's ability to absorb criticism without losing his voice was remarkable. Like a lighthouse battered by storms but guiding ships home, his faith gave him resilience. His continual humility and devotion invited millions to view him not as untouchable, but as a man wrestling with the same doubts and hopes they had. As decades passed, a new challenge arose, passing the torch without losing the flame. Billy's story deepens with his personal trials and enduring partnership. Ruth Bell Graham was Billy's anchor through over 6 decades of marriage. More than just a preacher's wife, Ruth was a confidant, poet, and fierce spiritual partner. Their relationship wasn't a pedestal fairytale, it was built on shared struggles, prayers in the dark, and mutual respect. Ruth's calming presence kept Billy grounded despite the roaring spotlight outside their home. In the late 1990s, Billy entrusted the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association to his son Franklin, symbolizing a changing of the guard. This passing wasn't just organizational, it was spiritual stewardship. Handing over a ministry that touched millions was both a relief and a risk. Yet it showcased Billy's belief that faith must evolve with new voices while staying rooted in timeless truths. Billy Graham's story isn't frozen in fame, it's a reminder that faith is a lifelong voyage. Even in his final years, facing physical decline alongside Ruth, he remained committed to doing the Lord's work. This devotion reveals a surprising insight. True legacy isn't a monument, but the quiet persistence of purpose over time, inspiring each of us to keep walking our own winding path. Remember that summer tent in Charlotte? Billy Graham's journey began there, frail yet unyielding. His life teaches us that monumental change often sprouts from humble roots, steady faith, and a community rooted in purpose. Next time doubt creeps in, try this: embrace the moment quietly, surrender fully, and persist relentlessly. Because sometimes the loudest voices start with a simple whisper. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.